Welcome. Well, we are into our higher end luxury makeup, the best of 2020, and there are going to be some real surprises for you in here. Hello and welcome. My name is Ciate, and I thought I would go through some of my favorite luxury and higher end makeup products. And I think let's just start this right off because I have a ton of stuff to talk about. The very first thing I'm going to talk about is primer and sunscreen, and this is the Fenty Beauty Skin Perfecting. This is the Daily Veil, it's called, and what this is it is a sunscreen. I believe it is 50 SPF. And it is also a skin primer. It does put a lot of moisture on your skin, and it is a sunscreen, and it's really nice. It's actually preferred by most dermatologists to use a separate sunscreen first, let it set into your skin, and then put your makeup on afterwards. So I generally will put this on as part of my skincare routine, and then I will wait a while before I come to the makeup stand and put the makeup on. But this is Fenty Beauty, and it is a wonderful, there is a slight, very slight kind of suntan-y kind of smell to it, but it's very, very slight, and I think this is just marvelous. I have so much skin damage on this side, and it's from the light coming in, sunlight coming in on the car, because I did a lot of driving when I was younger, and this side of my face is so much more damaged than this side, and it's because of the sun damage I got. I never wore sunscreen, and my hands too, from being on the wheel. My hands are so sun damaged, and you know, if I could go back to my younger self, you know, lots of times people will say, what would you tell your younger self? I mean, besides don't date that guy, I would say wear some sunscreen, because you're really gonna regret it later that you didn't. And you know, we just didn't know then what we know now, and back in the 1980s it just was not. We were kind of dumb back then, but it was, the public information was not out there, and we didn't have the internet. So this is Fenty Beauty, and it is the Veil sunscreen, and it's a combination primer sunscreen. For eye primer, no competition. I always go back to this. This actually isn't really an eye primer. It's considered a cream eyeshadow, and it's one of several. This is the Painterly Pro Longwear Paint Pots from MAC. And what this is a light pink eyeshadow, but because it works so well at staying without going into the creases, and it also holds eye makeup on, most people use this as an eye primer, although it's not technically an eye primer. But this is the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the color Painterly. For my serious deep lines and texture, I have been using this for quite a while, and this is the Clarins Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch. I think this is won 3 years in a row. I've never really found anything that replaced this. I got this from Sephora. I'm down to pan on. This is my third jar of this stuff. It is expensive, but you only use a little bit, like a little bead of it, to stick in your deep marionette lines and St. Bernard jawls, whatever you got around in here and up in here where your 11s are, and some of that upper forehead texture for those of us who don't do Botox. The Clarins is just excellent, and I've been using this for a few years now, and it wins every year as far as a good deep line primer, so that when you put your foundation on, it is a much smoother palette to put it on. Let's get into some makeup, because I know that's what you're interested in. So this is, it's a tie, and I really like both of these very much, and they're both about the same price range. This is a new product line for me. This is from Veil Cosmetics, and this is the Complexion Concealer. A teeny bit of this goes a really long way. This does not go into the lines. This is a really great concealer. You have to get a good color. I'm a medium light person, and I think I got the fairest shade. This is 1N is I think it's a porcelain shade. So 1N is the shade that I got in this. The other is one that won last year, and I still like it, and I do go back and forth. This one's almost gone. This is the Herborian concealer, and this is a wonderful sponge tip, kind of like a high-end Maybelline Age Rewind, except this one is a slightly darker color. It's got a slightly peachy tone, so it does do the color correcting as well as concealing. This is a marvelous product, plus you have the sponge there. For those of you who are grossed out at that kind of thing, I mean, you can put on a plate, you can put it on a plate and then either apply it with your fingers or a sponge, however you do apply your concealer. I do like to put a few dots on each edge and then blend it in with my finger, and I will demonstrate that to you. But I do like both of these equally. I think they're wonderful concealers, and they're both in the $30 range. I have some oldies but goodies, and I have some brand new foundations that I tried this year that I'm pretty happy with. Let me go through them. And I have a winner chicken dinner for my favorite foundation of the whole year. So let me just go through those really quick. First of all, we have the BB cream, and every year I love this. This is the Herborian. This is the BB cream with ginseng. And I'm almost out of this. This is a marvelous BB cream if you just want a coverage that's a lighter, more lotiony feel to it. It blends in really nicely with the skin. This is a really nice, and it is a foundation-like BB cream. It is expensive for the amount you get. I believe this is around $18, and I think it's only about a half an ounce in here, so it's not a whole lot of product in there, but I really like it a lot, and it does have a lot of good skincare in it, plus the SPF as well. So this is really good. In the summertime I use this. It's slightly darker shade. It only comes in like 3 or 4 shades. There's like Doré and all these other weird shades. So I have the middle shade. I think it's shade 2 or something. So and that's fairly medium, so it's a little bit dark, and when I'm darker in the summer, that's what I use. New to me this year was the Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection, and I believe this runs around $59 to $60, and it is a very serum-y type of foundation. And because I bought this during early COVID-19, they didn't have any samples, and I bought a shade that was slightly half a shade dark for me, but it looks so darn good. I really like it. And I guess now she is Dame Pat McGrath. The Queen has made her a dame in the royal court, so I think that's pretty cool that she is a dame. She is an English lady. She is a woman of color, which I think is just super cool. I do think her stuff is very expensive, so I don't actually buy a lot of Pat McGrath products, mostly because of the price points, but I do know that everything in her line pretty much is a high quality item, and I love this particular foundation. This is new to me this year, so it is one of the winning this year introduction foundations. Another one that is a winner, and that is for my drops, and these are Derma Blend, and these are Flawless Creator drops. And what these are the kind of drops you put 3 or 4 drops in some moisturizer and put it on, and you've got like a new kind of foundation. This is so creative and inventive. I usually pick this as my #1 foundation every year. However, this year it got knocked out of that particular spot by what's coming up pretty soon. But I do love Derma Blend drops, and it's so versatile, and you can do so much with it. And even just on its own, if you put 3 or 4 drops on your hand, you can put them in with a brush, with a sponge. It's absolutely beautiful, and I believe my shade here is N25, 25N. So that's kind of a medium light shade. Very, very nice. They have a really good broad range of shades, very inclusive. And it's a very good product. It stays put all day. And you can also add those drops to other foundations that don't work out so well. Before I announce my favorite foundation, I'm just going to show you two oldie but goodies that I feel I reached for them because during COVID I didn't buy a whole lot of new foundation, so I was reaching for a lot of old stuff in my collection. And I have this in two colors because I was using it in summer and also in fall. But this is the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. One of them's pretty dog-eared because I used it through most of the summer, and then this is the newer one I got in the fall. The lighter shade is nude, and then this is warm nude. Warm nude is a little darker, as you can see. But this is a really nice lotiony foundation. The only thing that it gets lower marks for is that because it is in that Peach Perfect line that Too Faced has, it has that scent added. And it's that fakey peach candy kind of smell, which is not very pleasant to me. Some people just can't stand fragrance in their face care products. Anyway, I don't know why they put it in there. I know they like to have the ambiance of all the senses taken care of, but I find that the scent of this is a little offensive. So it didn't win first place, but the product itself is excellent. It really is excellent. The other oldie but goodie is the Perricone MD, and this is the no makeup foundation, but it is makeup and it is foundation. I don't know where they're getting that from. This has a little block on it that you take off, and when you put it down, I've got like a medium shade. Again, this is something that looks really nice, blends so nicely, like skin-like into the skin, and I used it in the summertime when I wasn't using the Too Faced, and I think this is just a marvelous foundation. If you go too light with this, you will see the little pock marks in your face and the little dots and dings and stuff, but if you go a half shade darker, like in summertime, this is a beautiful, beautiful no makeup foundation. I think it's a really nice one. I didn't really care for a lot of the things in that particular line, and I thought they were a little bit overpriced. So with this particular makeup, you have to shake it up really well because it separates. This is the medium light shade. They're calling it beige, but it is more medium than it is medium light. But if you have a thin enough layer and you sponge it on, it just blends in with your skin so nicely, and it looks like real skin. There's a marketing meeting there. When they sit around, they say, what should we call this? And we'll call it the no makeup foundation. I think there's a new word, and it's called skinimalism. Skinimalism, and that's part of that whole trend, I think, to not look like you're wearing makeup when you're wearing makeup. Skinimalism. I think that's a really cute terminology. So you heard it here first. Alright, so what is my favorite, absolute favorite foundation of the year? It came late. It came in early December. This is the Fenty Beauty Powder Foundation. Yes, a powder, and I have dry skin. I have 62-year-old skin with lots of texture, lots of lines. This blurs my skin. This looks so good. It looks better than any of the liquid foundations. This is like a holy grail item. I have shade 190. I'm a medium light shade. Now it is a powder foundation. There is a mirror here. When you flip it up, you get an applicator, and there's another mirror. And let's see. I was thinking maybe there was a mirror that was like a 1x or 2x or something. They are both 1x mirrors, I believe. But it's basically a swipe through and a swipe through on your face. It just smooths everything out. You look flawless. You do not look like you're wearing makeup. You just look like you have great skin. I think this is an incredible product. I don't know what kind of formulation she found for this powder. It's better than the MAC. And up to this year, I like the MAC best for powder foundation. So this is better than the MAC powder foundation. So if you like the MAC, you are going to love this. This is fabulous. I got this on the sale, Sephora's sale, and I think this is a keeper. This is shade 190 of the Fenty Beauty, and it is called the Pro Filter Powder Foundation from Fenty Beauty. So Rihanna, you got another hit. Another hit. I made it funny, haha. Okay, let's go into more face products. For face powder for like underneath the eyes, I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury and the MAC Light Plus. The Charlotte Tilbury, I actually hit pan on. I was getting to get suspicious there really wasn't enough product in here, but I use it so often, I think that's probably part of the problem. But this is the fair shade, I believe, the shade number 1. Yeah, it is the number 1 shade, Fair, from Charlotte Tilbury. Do I have my tiara on straight? Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, so for highlight, for cream highlight, I have to go this year with the Balm, and this is the Mary Luminizer. I do like the powder version of this also, but the liquid was kind of fun to use. You just put a couple dots on your cheek, and then I like to use my finger and just bring it up here, and you can see that it just gave me an instant little bit of a glow there. I also put it right up here at the top where the 11s are, and I put it over the top of the Cupid's bow. For a powder highlight, I still keep reaching for Cookie from Benefit, and this is a beautiful light shimmery. This is more an evening type of powder. It does have like a micro glitter in it, and you can see how dazzling that is. So for the cream highlighter, I do like the Balm, and this is the Mary Luminizer in the cream form. This is very popular. It used to be like the number 1 highlighter in its powder form, and they still do make it that way, but I do like this new cream form. And then Benefit Cookie, which is a nice powder highlighter. So we have our cream and our powder highlighters. For bronzer, oh my goodness. You know, Tarte really impressed me this year, because for powder bronzer, this is on sale right now at on Sephora. This is on sale right now, and this is not such. It is not only a great contour palette with powders, it is an eyeshadow palette. You can use all of these shades for very nice eyeshadow. I mean, it's like really, really nice eyeshadows. And you've got some nice transition shades. You've got a nice darker shade for the corners. It's just beautiful. So you can see. And they last really well. They feel velvety soft. Their formulation for face products is just so good. I mean, they are in a couple of categories today. So for powder contour, this is absolutely beautiful, and it's on sale right now on the Sephora website. And this is a wonderful eyeshadow palette as well as a contour palette. And if you use some of these contours, and you can use this as a nice contour in here, you can use this as a nice bronzer, and then you've got some mid shades here if you're a very fair skinned person, and then you've got powders and highlight powder. So you can use under eye powder, or you can use just for general all over cheek powder. Absolutely wonderful. This is kind of a hidden gem, I think, in the Sephora website. I don't understand why it's on sale. I think it's like $25 on sale. Definitely, if it's still there, if they haven't run out of stock, I would totally recommend this, because it's a perfect travel palette. You can use it for your eyeshadow basics, and you can use it for your contouring basics. So it's just wonderful. For cream contour, Fenty Beauty, of course. There are 2 shades that I love. This is the lighter of the 2 shades, and this is called Mocha. If you are a medium light to a light-skinned fish belly white girl, you're going to love this Mocha shade. This is blendable. It looks great on the skin. It's not too dark. It's not too deep. It's not too orange. This is a beautiful shade. If you want something a little more gray and cool toned, the amber shade is perfect. I absolutely love this Fenty thing. This did win last year for my favorite contour, but I did have the Park Avenue Princess set that I thought really beat it out as far as having the versatility to do bronzing and contour and also be an eyeshadow palette. I thought that was just worth mentioning. And this one is, it's basically, you can use it, you know, in in contouring and a little bit of bronzing, but most of the time it's just contouring. I think the mocha you can use more as a bronzer, very lightly spread out. The amber shade is more of a cool tone, so I would just keep that strictly as dimensional, functional contour. For cream blush, there's a tie here again, and this is such out of the blue. I thought this was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I figured I would just return it if it was so really bad, and I wound up absolutely loving it. This is the Miss Piggy collection from Ciate. Ciate is a beautiful high-end luxury line. Beautiful mirror with this, but check out these colors, and the feeling of these colors, it feels velvety soft. I'm wearing them now. I'm wearing this now. Let me just put it on here. When you wipe it onto your face, it feels like you're wiping a velvet cloth on your face. It's very hard to describe. I have never felt a formulation like this, and I put a lot of blushes on this face, I tell you, over the last, just in the last 8 years doing this particular channel show, but also prior to that, I had several decades of makeup application. I have never felt a blush formulation like this. So Ciate is the name of the brand. So even if I think these are on sale now too on the Sephora website, or even possibly the Ulta website. I think it's Sephora that has this on sale. This is the Miss Piggy All About Moi blush palette. It's worth it because each one of these shades is a wonderful different type of look for you. They're all very natural, very buildable up. This would go with a lot of different skin tones as well. You can build it up for the darker, deeper skin tones. You can work with it. Absolutely beautiful. Ciate really did an excellent job with this, and I'm so impressed with this. I'm actually going to look into more of the Ciate products for face. I have always liked their eyeshadow palettes because those were always very soft, a soft, very pigmented formula. But I'd never tried their face powders and face creams before, and this is just beautiful. Now these are creams, but they feel velvety soft. So, and it's hard to describe it, but if you see this and it's on sale, I totally recommend it because of the color combination and because of the feel and the formulation, and it does last really well. It is tied with, of course, Fenty Beauty. This is the cream blush. This is Petal Poppin', I believe. Yes, Petal Poppin' is the name of the shade. This is a really nice, very light shade. I'm just going to stick it here. It's a very fresh look to the skin. If you are medium to light skin tone, it looks really beautiful and fresh and spring light. If you are a darker skin tone, it will be really nice. You can build it up and it works really nice, and it is very visible on darker, deeper tones as well. So, you know, Fenty Beauty, unbelievable. The cream blush, there's also kind of a rosy shade as well that's right along the same level. Don't be afraid of the color that's in the pan because it does come off, you can see that it's just slightly more sheer than what you would imagine by looking at, you know, the color in the pan. It doesn't come out that way. And there is a mirror as well in the compact. As far as blush powders go, I have a tie again. Hourglass has always been one of my favorite blushes, and this is Mood Exposure. This is just your basic, everyday, works with all skin tones kind of beautiful powder blush, and it's more of a neutral tone, so it goes with a lot more people's skin tones. And you can see it's just slightly, see where the Fenty is like this, you can see that the Hourglass is more neutral toned, and it just looks beautiful. It looks like a natural flush on your skin. And this is Mood Exposure from Hourglass, and this is a mini blush. I'm finding I'm still using this, about a year old, and I'm still using this. So the mini blushes from Hourglass are such a great deal. It is tied with Tarte. I think Tarte's blushes are kind of just unbelievable. They have Amazonian clay in their formulation. This is a newer color for me this year, and this is called Pate. Pate. And I'm just going to rub this here to see if we can And you can see it's more of a neutral like the Hourglass, but there is more of a pink tone to it, a mauve tone. Anything from Tarte in the blush arena is just wonderful. I think earlier this year I talked about these clicky clack things that they put out. They put out a series where they had these. I don't like this packaging, or else these would have made it in. But some of the formulations are beautiful for blushes. I just hate this packaging though. I think it's wasteful. For a company that is supposedly green, this is a very wasteful way to present their blushes. So I couldn't put those in the winning category, but I do like these very much. For brows, I really don't spend a lot of money on brow products because I really think that the drugstore price brow products are more than substantial for that particular job. I do like the Benefit Give Me Brow, and this is the blonde shade. It makes a very nice, very thin line, and I like that for the gateway brow hair area. But there's no, on the other side there is no brush, and I really like to have a brush on it. So I can't really recommend any kind of high-end brow products because I think they're overpriced for what they are, and I find that the drugstore really takes care of that so well that I don't bother spending a lot of money in the brow area. For eyeshadows, I have several categories here, and I have a couple of surprises for you. One of them is just all around eyeshadow products. I cannot find a better product than Viseart. Viseart, and this is their new one for this year. This is just a stunning, let me just take this off. This is just a stunning palette. I mean, absolutely beautiful. I bought this in the autumn. It's just beautiful. You've got your light, your medium, crease shade, darkening corners, and then deepening ones. You've got some nice, beautiful shimmers here. I like the peach here for the corners. It's an absolutely beautiful palette. This particular one, and this particular one is the Mink Set palette. This is one of their newer ones for small palettes. This one is the Paris Edit, which has some beautiful, and this is pretty dog-eared, but this has some beautiful shimmer shades as well as some good basics. And of course, these are the 12 pan Visearts. The Cool Mattes. This is the Cool Mattes number 2. And then we have the matte neutrals, and then we have the bridal satins. Now these are just, this is my second one of these, so I've actually hit pan in a lot of these. These are beautiful. These are all shimmer shades used, well, kind of encouraged to be used for bridal. I just want to show you, just tapping a little bit on there, the difference it makes. And I'm just taking just a teeny bit here, and I'm just going to put this on here. So you can see, and then we've got right in here this beautiful purple. I mean, there's just so many gorgeous. The gray is nice for lining under the eyes. Viseart shadows are just perfection. Once you go Viseart, it's hard to go back. It really is. So there were several of the new palettes that came out, and some of the older palettes. I really keep going back to palettes I've used for years, and I have like two categories here. One is my basic neutral palette, but I really like this one from Too Faced. This is the Natural Matte palette. This has your light shades, your crease colors, and your dark shades. Absolutely beautiful on. They really are like the perfect way to make a basic eye. This is a great beginner's kit as well. Also tied with that, another Tarte product. And this is actually another Tarte face kit, but this is the Clay Play kit. That's in eyeshadows and faces. They're supposed to be all skin tones. There was quite a theme of that a couple years ago because there was a lot of inclusive talk going on. So I think everybody jumped on the wagon to try to display skin tones in a variety of shades rather than just lily white. So I use these as eyeshadows, and I think they're a beautiful assortment of different eyeshadows you can use for your crease, the regular part of your eye, the lid, and then in the dark corners. Absolutely beautiful. So between the two of these, I absolutely love them. What really surprised me was that this is a CColor product. CColor is a very inexpensive brand. You can get this on Amazon for about a quarter of the price of the Too Faced Natural Matte, and it is a dead ringer. This is a dead ringer for the Natural Matte palette, and it's definitely worth it. Same formulation, it feels like. The smell is more cupcake rather than chocolate, but you know, I don't put eyeshadow on to smell chocolate. I really don't. I just, you know. So I think these two are tied, and I would prefer to get the lesser priced one on Amazon, the CColor one. For color palettes, I reached back into my library because I was doing a lot of that this summer. I was broke. I was unemployed for a lot of the summer. I just barely made rent, barely made my car payment. It was a really, really rough time. So I actually pulled things out of my collection that I haven't used in a couple of years. And this was one of them, and this is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Chocolate Palette. I mean, I hardly use this, and I love it. There's these greens, the purples. I mean, there's just some stunning, stunning colors. I mean, let me see if I can put this on here. Yeah, it's just beautiful, beautiful shades with shimmers and mattes, and you've got your basic eye looks here. You've got some nice mattes down here for basic eyes, but then you've got these pops of shimmer. I love using this one for lining under the eyes. You can use some for center shimmer on your eyes. There's some gold, there's silver, there's absolutely, I mean, and I have the silver on today. Let me just put a little more on here so you can see it. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. I love this. So the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette is kind of a winner for colorful, nice color story palette. And this one again, this is the Norvina palette, and on Amazon they have an exact dupe, and I mean, this puppy's exactly the same. I couldn't believe it. This is Norvina got pretty dog-eared, so I was looking for it on Amazon, and I found this color story. It's identical, absolutely identical to the Norvina. And you can see up top here is my Norvina palette from Beverly Hills, and you see that they are exact. Now the formulation is slightly different, but it's not noticeably different on your eyes. It looks the same. I did, before I ruined my eye look by adding things, I did have one on one side and one on the other, and you could not tell the difference. But there is slightly grainier on the Norvina side, but it seemed to have a better lasting power. This didn't last quite as long. This blended nicely. It's a softer formula, but they're so darn close, and they look identical on the eyes. So I think that's where it really counts. So Norvina from Anastasia Beverly Hills was my favorite kind of color palette. But what a surprise this was, and I think it was like $7 or something like that, so well worth looking into. For eyeliners, I kept going back to my Game of Thrones. This was the Dragon's Breath. This is a beautiful silvery black shade, and I think they still have it in hotlook.com, but this is rather old now. It's at least a year old. This is the Game of Thrones series that came out from Urban Decay. And then also tied with that is Charlotte Tilbury in Chameleon. This is a beautiful, her kohl shades are just out of this world. I love her eyeliners. So for eyeliners, these were just fabulous. And I'm sorry I didn't have an Urban Decay that was modern, but I do like their eyeliners a lot. They're 24/7 eyeliners. They do last really well on the eye, and there's a great assortment of colors. So I haven't revisited them in a while, and I will, because I just loved that Urban Decay Game of Thrones one so much. I still enjoy the the eye palette too, but I just didn't want to add insult to injury and tell you this is one of my favorites still. I do dip into this every now and then, a couple times a month maybe I will dip into this. I love it, and of course, you know, as a Game of Thrones fan, I love this. You know, and of course I really miss that show. I was watching The Spanish Princess for a while as kind of a in-between thing. Let's get into Single Shadows. Is a cream shadow from Stila. Again, this wins every year because I just love it. This is the this is Kitten from Stila. When you put this under your eye or in the center, you can make a little center dot there. It really does something to your eye look. It's really, really beautiful. I think it's gorgeous, and their lip products also are outstanding, but I had other things that won this year. So Stila, this is Kitten, and it's the liquid version. For mascara, I had a tie again, and they're both similar types of mascaras. One's easier to get than others if you are in the European market. The first one is Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. This is my favorite mascara. I always get the travel size because it lasts me about 3 months, and that's about how long you should keep your mascaras before you dispose of them, especially now in the era of microscopic size bacterial stuff, infection and viruses. This is a really good idea to just keep a mascara for 3 months and dispose of it. I know when you buy a big size and you know you've got a lot in there, it's really hard to say goodbye to that after 3 months. And most people say, oh, I just throw some eye drops in it and keep going. But I don't think that's a really good idea. I think that it's not healthy to have bacteria near your eyes like that. And every time you pull it out and let air in, air with the liquid mixed with the gunk on your eyes after it's been spreading it on your eyes can create a bacteria environment. So this is the Hourglass Unlocked, which was introduced this year, and I didn't like this. I still like the Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. I think that the Hourglass is just outstanding. It's a wet formula, so it's a little messy, takes a little bit getting used to. After the first couple of times, you will love it. I think on the third or fourth try, you're gonna love this. It's really, really beautiful mascara. I love it. Unlocked, not so much. I really was disappointed. It did not pass my humidity test, and I always find that when I try something and it leaves dings on my upper lashes or smears underneath, that it doesn't pass. So tied with this is the Thrive Cosmetics mascara. Now this is a tubing mascara started by a lady who wanted to make a makeup line for her friend and other cancer victims who lost their hair, starting off with a really nice eyebrow pencil that made realistic looking feathery eyebrows, to cosmetics they could apply and put their faces back on to look like themselves again. This mascara is absolutely one of the best on the market. It is a little pricey, and that is because whenever you buy a product from Thrive Cosmetics, they send a product to a cause. So they are cosmetics. These run in the $30 to $34 range, so they are a little pricey. You can get them with some sales and things on Ulta. Ulta carries them. They also have their own website. I really like Thrive, and this is the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara from Thrive Cosmetics, and this is just an absolutely remarkably wonderful mascara. It comes off when you want it to. It doesn't leave dings, stays put, gives you a false lash effect, and I love this. Absolutely wonderful. So those are my favorite two mascaras. For face spray, Skindinavia. Skindinavia is the mothership that also makes Urban Decay all-nighter spray. So all of you who use the all-nighter spray, this is kind of like the master extra freezing kind of face makeup spray. Spray a little bit of this at the end of your makeup routine, and it stays put all day through any event, any amount of time until you want your makeup off. This will hold it on there. I think it's fabulous. This is the bridal spray, which is, I think, the strongest one. I guess for a wedding you would need a strong one. So I have three categories of, actually 4 categories of lipsticks. This one is a set. I really like the set here, and this is of course Huda Beauty This is the Heartbreaker set, and I think it's on sale right now on the Sephora website. It's a 3-part set. You get one of the best formulations for lip pencils I've ever seen is this one, and this is the Huda Beauty Heartbreaker lip pencil. Once you put this puppy on, it stays, and you can actually make a nice lipstick in an emergency just using this lip liner. So this is in Heartbreaker, but it doesn't matter what color you get. This just happens to be a deep blue-red color. I was feeling quite daring. I don't know, and it doesn't look particularly good on me, but I did want to get this particular liner to make a good base and then put a lighter shade over the top so that it would kind of meld out a little bit. I love this. For a nude liner, that's a little different story. I like the MAC, and this is the Boldly Bare shade. This is a really nice, this is a nice all-around kind of nude shade. And this makes a pretty base also for putting lip gloss over the top. You know, for your dark reds and dark berry colors, the Heartbreaker shade and MAC in Boldly Bare is good for your nudes. I think these are wonderful high-end lip liners, absolutely beautiful. And the other part of this, there is a lip gloss here called Shameless. This is my favorite lip gloss. This really transforms any lipstick. It goes over the top. This is the Heartbreaker Liquid Lip that comes in this set, and it is an absolute dream. It goes on creamy, satiny smooth. It dries, and then when you put this beautiful Shameless, it's called Shameless lip gloss over the top, you get this gorgeous color. Now just on its own, the Shameless has this kind of holographic pinky golden look to it. If you have a nude lipstick on, or if you have a berry lipstick on, this will just transform it into something really special. So I really do like it, and it comes in this cute little container, which, you know, after you pull out the interior, you have a nice little case here that you can put you know, Q-tips or cotton balls or jewelry, or, you know, you name it, snacks, mints, you know. I just love this. I think this is it. I always want to do that when I see this, and I think everybody did that when this came out. They was like, who posed for this? Anyway, I'm thinking Georgina Jagger. This is Ilia. We have Oh Baby and we have Arabian Nights. This formulation I discovered when I did the Give Me More Lip set from Sephora. They had one of these in there, and I just love it. This is Oh Baby, which is kind of a, I'm running out of hand here, kind of a peachy nude shade. It's a very beautiful, basic peachy nude shade. They are cruelty-free, vegan-friendly, green, recyclable, wonderful health products, great skincare ingredients in their products. This is Arabian Nights. Even though it looks really dark, they're very sheer, so it gives them more of a wash of color. So that's Arabian Nights. Even though it looks really dark in the tube, it does not. It just looks like your lips, but way much better. And let me just put some of that Shameless over the top so you can see what it does. They do sell Shameless separately in the Huda Beauty line. It's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. So Ilia is my favorite lipstick formulation for this year in the high-end realm. And then we have the Shameless lip gloss, which I've loved in the past, and I've used it in the past. And then there was City Beauty. Now they had sent me a couple of lipsticks and lip glosses, and I actually kind of went further and I bought a couple of my own. So I've got a couple of liquid lips and liquid lip plumping glosses. This is my favorite plumping gloss. This is Sun Diego, it's called. It's a beautiful, let's see, can I do it here? What do you think? It's a beautiful plumping lip gloss. And when it goes over the top of anything, it gives it a sunny, pretty, golden look to it. So I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it's called San Diego from Fenty Beauty. Now these are a little bit on the expensive side, in the $30 range or so. But I think the formulation is worth trying. They're really, really beautiful. This is more of a nude plumping lip gloss. And this is the Blush Rose shade. I think it's just so pretty. This is a perfect little nude shade. And then we have a slightly darker, deeper shade. That is here. It's very mauve-y, very, very nice. Rose Mauve. That is Rose Mauve, Blushing Rose, and then this is San Diego. So Fenty Beauty really takes it from me for the liquid lipsticks this year. I absolutely love that formulation. And some of these, even though they dry down matte with a little bit of a gloss over the top, they are transformed into some of the prettiest lip combinations I've ever used. For scent, my favorite high-end scent is by the Rosie Jane is the name of the brand, and the scents, I absolutely love these. You get in this little sampler kit, you can get this at Sephora, and it's well worth trying it because scent is so personal, and not just how you smell it and if it smells a certain way, but how it smells on you with your DNA changing it or affecting it. So I really like, my favorite is Layla Lou. Also I love, this is James and Angie. Layla Lou, James, and Angie are my favorite three in the group. The rest of these are passable. They're really nice. There's an after smell, a really nice, the finishing notes as they call it. I think these are great. Now you only get the little teeny tiny kind of sampler size too, but you get the entire range, and it's a really good way to test out the range. They're calling it the 7-day detox, so you get 7 scents. And each scent represents an aspect of relaxation. This one is your favorite jeans in a white tee, beach in a bottle, dancing in the rain, LA spring day, sleeping under the stars, being in love, and sleeping in your birthday suit. So this is so these three wound up being real hits with me. This is a great way to try out scent, not just, again, not just to smell it in the air on a piece of paper, but to actually smell it on yourself. These have a really good staying power as well. I really like this. Rosie Jane and Layla Lou, I think out of all of them, Layla Lou is my favorite of the scents, but this is a really nice scent. So that pretty much wraps up my high-end kind of makeup. Everybody stay positive, wash your hands, wear your masks, spray your alcohol, keep it clean. You know the drill. The vaccinations are here, so hopefully we can take care of that this year and be all set to almost some semblance of normalcy again. And at least we have a new president now. All right, I'm sorry, I won't go there. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will be back again shortly with my best of 2020 lifestyle products, food, websites, and things that really impressed me this past year. Besides you. You all impressed me as well. I really appreciate you being out there, taking your time watching me. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Take care, toodles.